Looking through modern recipe books, it's impossible to figure out what a Vindaloo dish is supposed to be. Every recipe calls for something completely different. Different spice blends, almost any meat, might or might not include different vegetables, might include vinegar, might not even include that. The name Vindaloo has been bastardized into something that only really means a meat curry that's really spicy and probably has vinegar. But that's not what real Vindaloo is or was. The origin of this dish is from Portuguese settlers who came to the Goa region of India. Their dish, carne de Vindaloo, meaning meat with wine and garlic, became Vindaloo to the Indians. In order to have meat during their long sea voyage, they would cook it and pickle it with wine, vinegar, and garlic, and store it in barrels, and then reheat it in small portions, more like a condiment than an actual dish, because it was a precious commodity. This idea of pickling the meat became transformed into a kind of sweet and sour dish by the Goans that has very little in common with the restaurant versions you've probably tasted. This is not a simple bam, hit you in the head with a pile of chili heat. This recipe is delicious and has a very distinctive flavor you've probably never experienced in a Vindaloo, and has much more in common with the old world variety. The pan's not very hot. Now I'm going to add all of the spices together into this and begin cooking them with the onion. Continue cooking these slowly. Tomatoes are broken down. Looking pretty good. Gonna add the red wine. And the garlic cut into large pieces. And we're gonna begin reducing this. Turn up the heat and begin to after some reduction. We'll take a stick blender to it, off the heat. Yeah, like so. Then I'll put it back and finish the reduction. There we go, pass it through a sieve. And while it's still hot, I'm going to add a couple of bay leaves into what comes off of it. You're going to rub this through the sieve and then cool it off. Put it in the refrigerator and cool it off before you use it as the marinade. Now, the pan we're going to cook this in, I'm going to add just enough oil to make sure that it covers the entire bottom of the pan. Then I'm going to add the spices. Now, the pan is just barely getting warm now. It's not a real hot pan because I don't want the spices to burn. This is about 2 teaspoons of cumin and a teaspoon of ground cardamom. Again, don't burn the spices. This happens easily when they're finely ground. Now I've got the meat that was marinated last night, and they're taking them out of the marinade pieces, putting them into the pan as it's getting warm. Bring this to a boil and cook for about 8 minutes over medium-high heat before removing the meat to a platter. Starting to get stiff. Now I'm going to add chilies.
couple of cloves of garlic, heaping teaspoon dark brown sugar, back over the top of the meat it goes. Let it cool. That's the finished vindaloo.
Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.